For more than 2 decades, Pusha T and Malice, the Virginia brothers known to the world as Clipse, have stood guard over a fiercely specific corner of hip-hop. Together and apart, they've embraced a code, a philosophy, a stripped-down style built on sharp lyricism and unapologetic storytelling. While the culture around them has shifted, mutated, commercialized, and recycled itself a dozen times over, Clipse has remained true to its essence, focused on the street hustle, the psychology of the drug trade, and a minimalist sound that slices through any trends. They've never been the biggest names in rap, but they've never needed to be. Clipse has earned its place as the rap purist's choice, a connoisseur's pick for listeners who appreciate precision, honesty, and craft above spectacle. Welcome to Celebrity Rap Life, where the red carpets never roll up and the spotlight never fades. The rewards are legendary. Because in celebrity rap life, every downfall can become a comeback, and every headline tells a deeper story. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next. Now, after more than 15 years away as a duo, Pusha T and Malice return with Let God Sort 'Em Out, their 4th studio album and first since 2009's Till the Casket Drops. Produced entirely by their longtime collaborator Pharrell Williams, the album is a cold plunge, bracing, invigorating, but familiar. The DNA of their early work runs through every track, yet this is no nostalgia project. If anything, it's proof that their commitment to form has only sharpened with time. Yet, while the music remains true, the business of rap around them has only grown more complex, and Clipse has adapted. Their unswerving commitment to their code has often put them at odds with rap's more mainstream players. The latest chapter of that tension plays out on the album's lead single, So Be It, where Pusha T takes aim at Travis Scott. Once friendly in the extended Kanye West orbit, things soured after an incident in Paris. Scott played unreleased music for Clipse and Pharrell, omitting the fact that he was collaborating with Drake, Pusha's longtime adversary. That was corny, Pusha said recently on Popcast, the New York Times music podcast. He's shameless. Of course, Pusha's battle with Drake stretches back years. In 2018, it was Pusha who famously revealed Drake had a secret son on the blistering diss track, The Story of Adidon. That revelation still casts a shadow over much of Pusha's more recent output, a vendetta that continues to evolve. And now, it bleeds into the new Clipse album as well. On Let God Sort 'Em Out, Kendrick Lamar, another prominent Drake rival, appears on a standout track. But that collaboration didn't come without friction. Disputes with Def Jam over the song's content ultimately led the brothers to buy out their contract in order to release the album on their own terms. In a strange parallel, Drake is currently suing Universal Music, Def Jam's parent company, over Kendrick's smash hit, Not Like Us, accusing the label of defamation. Such turbulence isn't new for Clipse. From their earliest days, the industry has thrown hurdles in their path. Their debut album was shelved, and their follow-up faced long delays. Rather than wait, Clipse pivoted to mixtapes, becoming one of the first rap acts to embrace the internet as a direct line to fans. In doing so, they helped reshape how artists connected with their audience, setting the stage for the online rap culture we know today. Even with those innovations, the duo's peak as a unit was brief. In the late 2000s, their paths diverged. Pusha T, Terrence Thornton, aligned with Kanye West, became president of Good Music, and built an acclaimed solo catalog defined by cold, crystalline storytelling. Malice, Gene Thornton, took a different road, retreating from rap and immersing himself in Christianity. He re-emerged as No Malice, releasing 2 faith-based solo albums. For years, a Clipse reunion seemed uncertain. Now, they're back in lockstep. Pusha remains the firestarter, the sharp-tongued tactician. Malice is the measured observer, offering moral weight and reflection. I don't have it in me to lie, Pusha says, summing up their ethos. For Malice, the industry static is still a nuisance. I could vomit every time I have to hear somebody else's name in our interviews, that we can't just get back to the music, he admits. All the red tape, all the politics. I don't like nothing about it, but I'm cool because I've seen it before. I didn't expect much to change. The only thing I'm elated about is to make the kind of music that we make, and just to be arm in arm with my brother. On Popcast, the brothers reflected on their journey. When asked about the long break between albums, Malice described a pivotal moment. We were in California, meeting with Rick Rubin at Shangri-La. No phones, no shoes. I remember thinking, they can talk all they want, but I'm about to leave. Later that night, back at the hotel, he told Pusha it was time for a step back. Pusha wasn't surprised. I knew what he was feeling. He felt cheated by the business. But I couldn't stop. I knew how much we still had left to do. For Malice, it wasn't just business. It was also a matter of conscience. Yeah, definitely. I had become quite friendly with the world, and I had to live with myself at the end of the day. Their 2006 classic Hell Hath No Fury was described by Malice as an emotional drug record. That emotional honesty now takes center stage on Let God Sort 'Em Out. The album opens with Birds Don't Sing, a raw meditation on grief. The brothers lost both parents in quick succession. It was unbearably hard, Pusha says. But I knew it would touch people. For them, honoring their parents was essential. The way they raised us, that narrative needs to be heard, Malice says. It's okay if you didn't grow up with both parents, but you can change that for your own kids. That matters. My brother never played about that. If you weren't taking care of your kids, you couldn't even come hang with us in the club. Parenthood has shaped both brothers. I'm a parent, a grandparent, Malice says. I've always been conscious of what I put into the world. I've said things I knew better than, but I talked about it honestly, both sides. He remembers writing about a mother buying drugs while her kids went hungry. That was real. That's something I saw. Pusha views his art a little differently. I've always seen it as creativity, entertainment. My dad was like that. It's a movie. It's not real. But it didn't work out for everyone that way, he laughs. All his friends ended up in jail. He was lucky. As fathers, they're different. I'm soft, totally the pushover, Pusha admits. I can't come home and start reprimanding my son for anything unless it's really serious. Malice's kids are grown now, but he looks back with pride. People always complimented us on how well-behaved they were. In conversation, their brotherly dynamic is obvious. I have photos of us. I'm always looking serious, he's smiling, Malice says. Same thing in our music. Their ties with Kanye West, or Ye, also came up. On the single Ace Trumpets, Pusha references his departure. Look at them, him and him, still waitin' on Yeezy. Asked if he regrets anything from that era, he's clear. I don't know if I ever held my tongue. I always spoke to everything. We made great music, but outside of that, we don't see eye to eye. We never have. What they do share with Pharrell is undeniable chemistry. The sparse, icy beats on Let God Sort 'Em Out capture the same tension and clarity that defined their early work. We search for feeling, Pusha explains. That's how we make music. But Pharrell is a future guy. Never use the word nostalgia around him. He'll ruin the mood. What we've mastered is searching for a feeling, and he knows how to flip that into something futuristic. Recording at Pharrell's Louis Vuitton office in Paris added another layer. While we recorded Birds Don't Sing, everyone in the office, sewing, drawing, sketching, was crying, Pusha says. It was a vulnerable moment. Pharrell pushed us to lean in, put salt in the wound. That's family, 30, 40 years deep. Now, Clipse stands in a rare position, elder statesman, yet as sharp as ever. The industry may have changed, the players may have shifted, but their voice remains singular. On Let God Sort 'Em Out, they remind us why they matter. In a world of noise, Clipse still cuts through. And this time, they do it arm in arm not just as collaborators, but as brothers, fathers, and keepers of a legacy that remains defiantly alive. This story is far from over, and the truth is still unfolding. I want to hear what you think. Drop your take in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next.